Hello everyone. Hope so you are doing well. So today I'm going to uh, give a beautiful insights about a life without your phone. And even you can try it for 24 hours, 42 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, and so on. So yes, here is what the reality has changed. For 24 hours, if you turn off your phone, no scrolling, no notifications, no just checking one thing, just the thoughts and the world around you. What started as a simple experiment, it will be getting turned into something unexpectedly powerful. Now, instead of waking up to a flood of notifications, you can wake up to a silence, no comparison, no urgency, no instant stress. Even you can notice the sunlight, hear the birds, and actually taste the coffee. The first 10 minutes of your day will shape your mindset. Without phone, the morning will be felt and intentional instead of a reactive. Now, if the mind gets slowed down in a good way, at first feel restless, then the hand reaches for to the pocket automatically. Then that's when we realize something. Oh, it was not about productivity, it was about dependency. But after a few hours, something beautifully happened. The thoughts are stretched out. You will start focus longer. You can read deeper, and it will be getting reflected. The greatness lives in the mental clarity, and the clarity needs a space. Now, the conversation becomes meaningful without distractions. I gave people my full attention as well. Eye contact lasted longer, laughter felt deeper, listening became intentional, gratitude hit me hard. Real connection doesn't require any Wi Fi. Presence is a gift, and most of us rarely give it. I rediscovered simple joy as well. I took a walk without documenting it. I ate a meal without photographing it. I sat in silence without feeling it. And I realized something powerful. Moments don't need validation to be valuable. When we stop performing in the life, we start living it. Now the productivity gets increased, but the pressure decreases. Ironically, it will be getting more done. No random scrolling, no constant interruptions, no multitasking illusion. But more important is you will feel calmer while doing it. And the same feeling I had. The absence of digital noise created emotional space. Gratitude became louder than notifications. Definitely, you will feel thankful for the time, stillness, face to face interaction, own interrupted thoughts. It was not about rejection technology, it was about remembering who you are and without it. Now, the bigger realization, the phone is not the problem, unconscious use is. This experiment was not about escape, it was about awareness, and awareness changes everything. Would you like to do it again? Absolutely. I feel so. Maybe not every day, but regularly. Because in just 24 hours, even I learned presence beats performance, depth beats distraction, gratitude grows in the silence. If you are feeling overwhelmed, scattered, or disconnected, try 24 hours. You might not lose your phone. You might find yourself. Now, the question is why you should do this. Why you should try a 24-hour digital detox. Constant notifications, reduced focus, feeling connected but not present. Sound familiar? We live in a world where our attention is constantly pulled in 100 directions. Every buzz feels urgent, every alert feels important. But what if stepping away, if and briefly, could unlock something greater? Here is why you should try it. Constant notifications are stealing your peace. Every notification triggers in a tiny surge of urgency. Even when we don't respond, our brain does. It shifts attention, it breaks the flow, it increases the stress. Over time, this creates a low level anxiety we barely notice until it's gone. Now, the positive insights from this is the silence is powerful. When the noise disappears, your nervous system relaxes. You begin to think clearly again. You breathe differently. You move differently. Peace is not found in managing more alerts. It is found in fewer interruptions. Now, the reduced focus is limiting your greatness. Focus is the gateway to excellence, deep work, creative ideas, meaningful progress. None of these thrive in distraction. When you remove your phone, even temporarily, something incredible happens. Your mind stretches, you enter deeper concentration, you finish what you start. Now, the greatness requires the depth, and the depth requires attention. You will realize you are capable of far more than you thought. You were just fragmented. Feeling connected but not present is the modern paradox. We have never been more connected, yet many feel more distant than ever. Scrolling through lives, double tapping moments, replying without really engaging, but presence changes everything. When you sit with someone without checking your screen, conversation gets deeper, laughter lasts longer, emotions feel authentic. True connection is not about success, it's about attention, and attention is love in action. Curiosity, what happens without it? This might be the most powerful reason. Not fear, not pressure, curiosity. What happens if you stop checking? What happens if you let boredom exist? What happens if your mind is not constantly stimulated? Here is what often happens: creativity rises, self awareness increases, gratitude becomes clearer, time feels slower, in the best way. You don't lose connection with the world, you reconnect with yourself. Now, the real transformation is about a 24-hour break is not about rejecting technology, it's about reclaiming your attention. It's about proving to yourself that you are not controlled by notifications. Your focus is stronger than your habits. Your presence matters more than your posts. And once you experience that clarity, you carry it forward, even when the phone comes back on. Now, you don't need a week, you don't need a retreat, you just need one intentional day because sometimes the greatest reset is simply turning the noise off and turning your life back on. Are you curious enough to try? Now, the rules of a 24-hour digital detox. I hope you will be curious to know about that. It's very simple, clear, and the transformational. If you are going to unplug, do it with intention. These are not restrictions. They are gateways to clarity, presence, and the personal power. No social media, no scrolling, no posting, no checking who viewed your story. At first, it feels strange, then it feels freeing. Without social media, you stop comparing, you stop performing, you start experiencing. When you are not documenting your life, you are actually living it. Your moments become private treasures instead of public updates, and in that privacy, confidence grows quietly. For 24 hours, you are unavailable, and that's okay. We often mistake constant availability for responsibility, but being reachable every second drains mental energy. Without messages, your thoughts are not interrupted, your emotions are not influenced, your day unfolds at your pace. Greatness requires uninterrupted space. The world can wait. Your clarity cannot. You will realize something powerful. Most things are not as urgent as they feel. No music or the podcast. This is where the real depth begins. No background noise, no constant input, just silence. At first, silence can feel uncomfortable, but stay with it because silence strengthens self awareness, expands creativity, sharpens intuition. When external voices quiet down, your inner voice gets louder, and that voice, it holds ideas, reflections, gratitude, and wisdoms you rarely get to hear. No checking time unnecessarily. Time checking fuels impatience. How much longer? When is this over? What's next? Instant, let the day flow naturally. Eat when you are hungry. Rest when you are tired. Move when you feel energy, positive insights. When you stop racing the clock, you start honoring the moment. You begin to feel time instead of chasing it. Why these rules matter? Each rule removes a layer of distraction. Each layer removed reveals something powerful: clarity, calmness, focus, gratitude, and the presence. This is not deprivation, it's liberation. For 24 hours, you step out of reaction mode and into intentional living. Now, the hidden reward is by following these simple rules, you prove something to yourself. You are in control, not your notifications, not your habits, not your impulses. And that is the realization. It builds confidence that lasts far beyond one day. Now, the rules may look strict, but they open the door to freedom, because sometimes the greatest upgrade in your life does not come from adding more, it comes from removing what no longer serves you. Are you ready to experience your life uninterrupted? Now, the first 2 hours, the real battle begins. The first 2 hours without your phone are not peaceful, they are revealing. This is where the illusion breaks. This is where awareness begins. And honestly, this is where the transformation starts. Now, the phantom vibrations, the mind playing the tricks, you feel it buzz, except it didn't. That phantom vibration is more than a glitch, it's a powerful signal. Your brain has been trained to expect stimulation, it anticipates interruption. When your body reacts to something that is not there, you realize how deeply habits are wired. But here is the positive shift: awareness is the first step to freedom. The moment you notice it, you are no longer unconsciously controlled by it. Reaching for your pocket, autopilot mode. Your hand moves without permission, standing in line, reach, slight boredom, reach, awkward silence, and again the reach. You discover something profound. It's not about the communication, it's about the comfort. Your phone becomes a shield from boredom, from stillness, from your own thoughts. When you resist the urge to reach, you strengthen discipline. Every resisted impulse builds mental muscle, and discipline is confidence in the action. Now, the detox effect. Without constant stimulation, your mind feels restless. You want input, noise, distraction. But this restlessness is not weakness, it's a withdrawal from constant dopamine spikes. And here is a beautiful part: if you sit with it instead of escaping it, it passes. In its place comes something better: calm, clarity, creative thought, emotional balance. Growth often feels uncomfortable at first. That discomfort is proof you are breaking a pattern. Realizing the dependency, this is the turning point. You begin to see how often you check without thinking, how silence feels unfamiliar, how quickly you seek distraction, and instead of shame, something more powerful appears: self awareness. You are not judging yourself, you are observing yourself, and observation leads to intentional change. The hidden gift of the first 2 hours. Those first 2 hours feel challenging because you are reclaiming control. You are shifting from reactive towards intentional, stimulated towards present, and distracted towards aware. Most people never reach this stage because they quit when it feels uncomfortable. But if you push past it, something incredible happens. Urge weakens, your mind steadies, your breathing slows, you feel free. The first 2 hours are not about losing your phone, they are about meeting yourself without distraction. And once you realize you can sit with discomfort, resist impulse, and stay present, you unlock a new level of mental strength. That's not just a detox, that's personal growth in real time. Would you push through the first 2 hours? Now, this slide talks about the insights. The silence feels uncomfortable at first, and that's exactly why it is powerful. When you remove the noise, no scrolling, no background music, no constant updates, something unexpected happens. Silence gets loud at first. It feels awkward, almost unsettling. Your mind starts searching for something to fill the space. But here is the truth most people don't realize: the discomfort is not the problem. It's the doorway. We use phones to avoid stillness. Think about it. Waiting in line, scrolling, sitting alone, and again scrolling, feeling stressed, then scrolling, awkward pause in the conversation. And then again, scrolling. Our phones have become a shield against stillness, not because we are weak, but because the stillness forces us to face ourselves, and that can feel unfamiliar. We avoid silence because silence removes the distraction. And without distraction, we notice everything: our thoughts, our emotions, our worries, and our dreams. That awareness can feel intense, but it's also transformative. Why silence feels uncomfortable? Silence strips away stimulation. No dopamine hits, no instant entertainment, no validation, just you. The discomfort you feel is not emptiness, it's an adjustment. Your brain has been conditioned to constant input. When that input disappears, it protests. But here is the positive shift. If you stay in the silence long enough, it stops feeling uncomfortable and starts feeling empowering. This is the breakthrough moment when you feel uneasy without your phone. You are not failing, you are noticing, and noticing is growth. Discomfort shines a light on habits you did not realize were automatic. It reveals dependency without judgment. It shows you where your attention truly goes. Awareness is the foundation of change. Without it, we live on autopilot. With it, we live intentionally. The greatness hidden in stillness, once you move past the initial discomfort, something extraordinary happens. Your thoughts become clearer, your creativity awakens, your emotional intelligence deepens, your gratitude strengthens. Silence stops feeling like emptiness, it starts feeling like space, space to think, space to breathe, space to grow. And in that space, you rediscover something powerful. You don't need constant stimulation to feel alive, you need the presence. Silence feels uncomfortable at first because we are not used to meet ourselves without distraction, but when you allow yourself to sit in it, even briefly, you unlock clarity. Most people never experience the discomfort is not a weakness, it's the beginning of awareness. And awareness, that's where real transformation begins. Would you dare to sit in silence long enough to hear your own voice? Now, hour four is shift. Somewhere around hour four, something changes. The urgency fades, the impulse weakens, the noise quiets, and in its place, something extraordinary begins. This is the turning point. The mind slows down. Earlier, your thoughts were racing, looking for stimulation, craving input. Now they stretched out. You are not jumping between ideas. You are not reacting, you are thinking fully. It feels like switching from a flashing strobe light to steady sunlight. A slowed mind is not a lazy mind, it's a powerful one. Clarity lives in calmness. When your mind slows down, your decisions sharpen, your emotions stabilize, your perspective widens. You start noticing your surroundings. The world didn't change, your awareness did. You notice the texture of the air, the sound of distant conversations, the way light hits the floor, the rhythm of your own footsteps. Without a screen filtering your attention, life becomes vivid. Moment feels richer because you are actually inside them. The beauty we think is missing has always been there. We were just distracted. You don't force it, it just happens. Now the breathing becomes deeper, your shoulders dropped, your jaw relaxes, your breath lengthens. And why? Because of your nervous system is no longer on constant alert. Notifications keep us in a subtle state of readiness, always waiting, always anticipating. Remove that stimulus and the body recalibrates. Now, the deep breathing is not just physical, it's psychological freedom. When you breathe deeper, you live slower. When you live slower, you experience more. This might be the most powerful shift of all. Without constant input, your mind gains space, and in that space, creativity sparks. Long forgotten ideas resurface. Gratitude feels stronger. Self awareness deepens. You realize how crowded your thoughts used to be. Now they have room to connect, room to reflect, and room to grow. Now, the power of hour four. Hour 4 is not just about resisting your phone anymore. It's about rediscovering your natural state, calm, aware, present, capable. This is the moment you realize you don't need constant stimulation to feel fulfilled. You need a space. And once you experience that mental expansion, you understand something powerful. The noise was never adding value, it was consuming attention. Hour 4 is where the detox becomes liberation. Your mind slows, your breath deepens, your world sharpens, and you discover a version of yourself that is not rushed, distracted, or reactive, just present. And presence, more than productivity, more than connectivity, is where true greatness begins. Would you stay long enough to reach hour 4? Now, the beauty of presence. In a world full of distractions, the presence have become rare, and rare things are valuable. When you remove your phone, even for a day, something remarkable happens. You don't just hear people, you listen. You don't just look at people, you see them, and that changes everything. Without the temptation to glance at a screen, your attention deepens. You notice tone, pauses, emotion behind the words. You are no longer waiting for your turn to speak, you are absorbing. Most people don't want advice, they want to feel heard. When someone feels truly heard, walls drop, trust builds, connection strengthens. Listening carefully is not passive, it's powerful. It says you matter. Eye contact gets improved. Eye contact is simple, but it carries weight. When your phone is not on the table, your gaze does drift, it stays steady. And a steady eye contact communicates confidence, sincerity, respect. You begin to notice subtle expressions, a smile forming, a flicker of vulnerability, a spark of excitement. Presence sharpens the perception, and perception deepens the connection. Something unexpected happens when you give someone uninterrupted attention. Conversations evolve, they move beyond small talk, they become meaningful. People open up more, laughter feels richer, silence feels comfortable instead of awkward. Why? Because you are not half there, you are fully engaged. Greatness inside, depth in conversation mirrors depth in the character. When you show up fully, others feel safe doing the same. Undivided attention is equivalent to the respect. This may be the most powerful realization of all. Undivided attention is one of the purest forms of respect. It says you are important. This moment matters. I choose to be there. In a time where attention is fragmented, giving someone your full focus is a rare gift, and people feel it immediately. You don't need grand gestures to strengthen relationships, you need presence. Now, the hidden information is when you practice presence, you don't just improve conversations, you elevate your relationships. Friends feel valued, family feels closer, colleagues feel acknowledged, and you feel something too, fulfillment. Because real connection nourishes us in a way no notification ever could. Presence is not about being physically near someone, it's about being mentally and emotionally available. When you listen carefully, hold eyes contact, and give undivided attention, you create moments that linger, moments people remember, moments that build the trust, moments that matter. In a distracted world, being fully present is not just polite, it's a powerful, and it might be the greatest gift you can give. Nature feels different. When the screen goes dark, the world lights up without constant notifications pulling at your attention. Something beautiful happens. Nature stops being background noise and becomes the main experience. Bird sounds became clearer. They were always there, but this time you truly heard them. The rhythm, the variation, the space between each call. It was not just sound, it was presence. When your mind is not crowded, your senses sharpen. The world hasn't grown quieter, you have grown more attentive. And in that attentiveness, ordinary sounds feel extraordinary. Sunlight felt warmer, not physically different, but emotionally different. You notice how it rests on your skin, how it reflects off leaves, how it paints the world in soft gold. Without distraction, light feels intentional. When you slow down, even warmth feels like a gift. Gratitude becomes easier when you actually notice what surrounds you. Before walks may have been paired with scrolling, texting, or listening to something. Now the walk stands on its own. Each step feels deliberate, each breath feels deeper, each moment feels grounded. You are not walking to pass time, you are walking to experience it, and suddenly something simple becomes restorative. Less rushing, more observing. This is the real shift. You stop racing from one task to the next. You begin observing the shape of trees, the pattern of clouds, the quiet rhythm of life, and moving around you. You realize how often you were physically present but mentally elsewhere. Now you are fully here, and here feels peaceful. The greatness in slowing down. The nature doesn't hurry, it doesn't compete, it doesn't rush, it simply exists fully. When you disconnect from your phone, you begin to align with that rhythm. Your heartbeat steadies, your thoughts soften, your perspective widens, and you discover something powerful. The world is not lacking beauty. We are often just too distracted to see it. When bird sounds grow clearer, sunlight feels warmer and walks feel intentional. It's not just because nature changed, you did. You shifted from rushing to observing, from consuming to experiencing, from distracted to present, and in that shift, life feels richer. Sometimes the most extraordinary reset is simply stepping outside without a screen between you and the sky. Now, productivity surprise. Here is what no one expects during a digital detox. You don't fall behind, you move ahead. What feels like disconnecting actually becomes a performance upgrade. And the biggest surprise is less input created more output. We glorify multitasking, emails open, messages popping up, tabs everywhere. But when you focus on one task, fully something powerful happens. Your mind locks in, your energy channels forward, your results get sharpened. Multitasking divides attention, single tasking multiplies impact. When you give one thing your fully focus, you finish it with quality and the speed. And finishing builds confidence. No distractions, no mental risk. Every notification is a tiny interruption. Even if you ignore it, your brain registers it. That split second shift costs more than we realize. Without distractions, your flow stays intact, your thinking stays deep, your energy stays consistent. You are no longer restarting your focus every few minutes, and the focus uninterrupted becomes the momentum. Work finished faster. Here is the surprising truth. The same task that normally takes 2 hours can take one when you are fully present. Why? Because there is no context switching, no scroll breaks, no quick checks that turn into 15 minutes. You move cleanly from start to finish, and completion feels powerful. Speed is not about rushing, it's about eliminating friction, remove distraction, and time expands. This might be the biggest win of all. Normally, distraction resets momentum, but without constant interruption, you build a rhythm. One finished task leads to another. Progress fuels motivation. Motivation fuels action. You stop feeling scattered. You start feeling capable. The real productivity breakthrough, it was not about doing more. It was about doing less but better. One task, one focus, one direction, and suddenly stress decreases, efficiency increases, and the confidence rises. You realize something empowering. You were never bad at managing the time. You were battling distraction. Now, the productivity surprise is not just about finishing the work faster. It's about rediscovering your ability to concentrate deeply, to commit fully, to execute cleanly, to build momentum without interruption. When you remove the distractions, you don't just get more done, you unlock a higher level of performance, calm, controlled, and powerful. And that version of you, that's the one capable of greatness. Insight two, deep focus is energizing. We have been taught to believe that being busy equals being productive, but here is the truth most people discover too late. Constant switching is exhausting, deep focus is energizing, and the difference changes everything. When you give one task your undivided attention, something powerful happens. Time moves differently. Distractions fade. Your mind locks in. You are not forcing productivity, you are experiencing momentum. That state of deep focus does not drains you, it fuels you. Why? Because your brain is not restarting every few minutes, it is building rhythm, and rhythm creates the energy. Focus is not restrictive, it's liberating. When your attention is not scattered, your effort feels lighter and your output feels stronger. Now, the constant switching is mentally expensive. Now, compare that to constant switching: email, messages, task, notifications, back to the task, another alert. Each switch feels small, but mentally it's costly. Every time you shift attention, your brain burns energy, reorienting itself. That constant reset creates fatigue, and even if you have not done much meaningful work, you don't feel accomplished. You feel drained, not because you worked hard, but because you worked fragmented. Attention is powerful currency. Here is the greatness hidden in these insights. Your attention is one of your most valuable assets. Where you place it determines the quality of your work, the depth of your relationship, the clarity of your thinking, the direction of your life. Attention is currency. Spend it carelessly and you feel scattered. Invest it intentionally and you build the results. When you protect your focus, you protect your potential. Now the energy gets shifted. Deep focus creates satisfaction from completion, confidence from progress, motivation from momentum. Instead of ending the day exhausted and wondering what you accomplished, you end it energized because you moved something forward meaningfully. That energy is not accidental, it is the reward of concentrated effort. The bigger realization is we often search for motivation, but focus creates motivation. When you sit down, eliminate distractions, and commit to depth, you generate your own momentum. And that momentum feels powerful. You begin to realize you don't need more hours, you need more intention. Deep focus is not just a productivity strategy, it's a life strategy. When you stop scattering your attention and start directing it with purpose, everything gets improves. Your performance, your clarity, your confidence, your peace. Because in a distracted world, the ability to focus deeply is not common, it's rare, and rare skills create extraordinary results. Guard your attention, it's the most powerful currency you own. Emotional awareness is about meeting yourself fully. A digital detox is not just about turning off your phone, it's about turning on your awareness. By stepping away from constant stimulation, something remarkable happens. You begin to notice your emotions, the subtle, overlooked ones, and understand them. Notice the boredom trigger without endless scrolling. Boredom surfaces. At first, it feels uncomfortable. Your mind searches for distraction. Restlessness grows, but boredom is not an enemy, it's a signal. Boredom highlights what your brain was numbing, and that's the first step towards emotional growth. When you notice it, you gain choice. You stop reacting unconsciously and start responding intentionally. Silence amplifies what we usually avoid. Worries we push aside, decisions we procrastinate, feelings we ignore. Confronting these thoughts is not easy, but avoidance is exhausting, and clarity does not come from distraction. Courage is not only about action, it's about sitting with yourself, fully aware without escaping. Facing your inner world builds resilience and emotional intelligence that lasts far beyond one day. Once the initial restlessness fades, something shifts. You feel anchored in the present. Your breath slows, your body feels alive, your mind feels centered. Groundedness is not just calmness, it's connection to yourself, your surroundings, and your purpose. When you are grounded, life doesn't feel chaotic, it feels manageable, meaningful, within reach. With attention freed from notifications and external noise, insights emerges. You see patterns in your behavior, you recognize priorities, you understand what truly matters. Clarity is not magical, it's a byproduct of stillness, reflection, and honest awareness. People spend years seeking clarity externally, yet it is always been available inside. A digital detox simply creates the space to notice it. Emotional awareness turns discomfort into the growth, it turns boredom into the insights, It turns distraction into understanding. By noticing your triggers, facing thoughts you usually avoid, grounding yourself, and embracing clarity, you unlock something extraordinary: self mastery, intentional living, peaceful confidence. Your emotions are not obstacles, they are guides. Step into awareness, sit with yourself, observe honestly. The discomfort at first is temporary. The insights and the grounding it brings, life changing. Emotional awareness is not just part of a detox, it is the secret to thriving, fully present, fully alive, and fully you. Now, the gratitude moment, discovering life in its simplest form. One of the most profound gifts of a digital detox is not productivity, it is not deep focus, it's a gratitude, the kind that grows quietly in the spaces we usually ignore. When the noise disappears, life whispers its beauty, and you finally listen. Silence is not emptiness, it's presence, it's peace, it's the space where your mind slows, your breath deepens, and your soul rests. For the first time in a long time, silence becomes enjoyable instead of uncomfortable. When you stop feeling every moment with noise, you discover the richness of being rather than doing. Simple silence becomes a treasure, and gratitude naturally flows. Without distractions, conversations transform. No half hearted replies, no glances at the phone, just undivided attention. You notice tone of voice, subtle expressions, genuine laughter. True connection doesn't require Wi Fi, it requires the presence. And being present with others cultivates a profound sense of appreciation for relationships that often go unnoticed. When your mind is not pinged by notifications every few minutes, a new clarity arises. The mental chaos quiets, the racing thought slows, decision making feels easier, focus comes naturally. Calm is not passive, it's an active choice, and gratitude is its companion. You start appreciating the rare moments of clarity and the ability to think deeply without distraction. By simply being present, noticing your surroundings, listening fully, breathing deeply, you recognize the beauty in ordinary life. Meals become savored, not snapped. Walks become intentional, not rushed. Moments become memories, not content. Mindful living is not a trend, it is a superpower. It allows you to truly experience life instead of merely scrolling through it. When you pause, breathe, and unplug, you realize life is richer than your feed. Connections are deeper than notifications. Peace is more valuable than constant stimulation. Gratitude grows in stillness, conversation, and awareness, the very things we often overlook while glued to a screen. Gratitude is not found in more possessions, likes, or notification. It is found in the quiet moments you usually ignore, the people you actually pay attention to, the calm that comes from presence. And when you cultivate it intentionally, life feels bigger, brighter, and more meaningful. Pause, look around, breathe, be grateful. That's where the real joy begins. Now, the challenges which are being faced, turning obstacles into the insights. A 24-hour digital detox is not all calm and clarity. There are real challenges, and that's exactly what makes it transformative. Recognizing the struggles is part of the journey. Each challenge carries a hidden lesson in awareness, self mastery, and the growth. Time uncertainty. Without a phone to constantly check the clock, the first challenge is noticing time differently. How long have I been here? Am I late? When will this end? At first, it can feel unsettling, but that uncertainty invites you to live in the moment instead of rushing. Life doesn't always need to be scheduled to be meaningful. When you release the constant check on time, you experience moments fully, and they often feel longer, richer, and more intentional. We rely on our phones for answers, updates, and instant connections. Without it, curiosity can feel stalled. Small questions linger, decisions slow down. Slowing down encourages deeper thinking, problem solving, and creativity. You realize not everything needs an immediate answer. Some things are better discovered in the reflection. Patience becomes a strength, not a limitation. The hand reaches for the pocket, the mind searches for a scroll. Old habits die hard. These impulses are uncomfortable, but they are also revealing. Habit impulses are opportunities for awareness. Every time you resist the urge to check, you strengthen. self-discipline, focus, and mental resilience. It's not deprivation, it's training for intentional living. Social expectation, the pressure. Why are not you replying? Did you miss something? People expect you to be available. These pressures highlight how much we tie our value to constant connectivity. Your worth is not in immediate responses or online availability, it's in your presence, attention, and the clarity. Choosing to step away even briefly demonstrates courage and self respect, turning challenges into the growth. The discomfort, uncertainty, and the social pressure are not roadblocks, they are the signals that you have been living reactively, opportunities to strengthen focus and patience, invitations to cultivate mindful awareness. Each challenge you face without your phone is a reminder you control your attention, your time, and your choices. The struggles during a digital detox are temporary. The lessons, awareness, self discipline, clarity, and intentionality last far beyond the 24 hours. Challenges are not the setbacks, they are the gateways. And every obstacle you navigate strengthens your ability to live concisely, calmly, and fully. Your growth lies on the other side of the discomfort. What I learned, the phone detox revelation. After 24 hours without my phone, one truth became crystal clear. The phone itself is not the problem. The real challenge is not the technology, it's how we use it unconsciously, reflexively, and endlessly. Stepping away taught me the lessons about boundaries, presence, and the freedom that comes from conscious living. The phone is not the enemy. It's easy to blame the device for distraction, stress, or restlessness, but the phone is just a tool, neutral in its essence. The power is not in avoiding it forever, it is in using it intentionally. Once you stop labeling technology as bad, you can focus on your choices, and that's where true control begins. Now, scrolling without noticing, checking notifications reflexively, opening apps out of habit, these moments are where attention slips away. Awareness transforms habits. When you recognize unconscious usage, you reclaim your time, focus, and mental energy. You realize distraction is not imposed on you, it's invited, and you can choose it differently. Turning off notifications, silencing pings, or stepping away temporarily does not restrict you, it frees you. Boundaries create a space to think, boundaries protect attention, boundaries make your time your own. Setting limits doesn't take away life, it enhances it. Freedom is not the absence of rules, it's the presence of control. The most valuable lesson, being present is more satisfying than being constantly connected. Presence allows you to hear conversations fully, notice the small joys, experience life as it unfolds. Peace is not found in notifications, it is found in undivided attention to yourself, your environment, and the people around you. When you cultivate presence, every moment becomes richer, calmer, and more meaningful. Now, the takeaways: the phone is not the enemy, your unconscious habits are. The freedom comes from boundaries, peace comes from presence. And when you combine awareness, intentional usage, and stillness, life becomes clearer, calmer, and far more fulfilling. After 24 hours without the phone, I didn't just gain time, I gained the perspective, I gained the focus, I gained the life. Now, the 24 hours later, the transformation beyond quitting. After a full day without my phone, one question naturally comes to the mind: did I quit my phone? The answer is very simple: no. But the real transformation was not about giving up the device, it was about how I interacted with it. And that changed has been profound. I realized the phone itself is not the enemy, unconscious habits are. Now, every time I pick it up, I do so intentionally, not reflexively. I think, do I need this now? I pause before scrolling. I choose connection over the habit. Mindset matters more than mere abstinence. The real victory is awareness, not avoidance. The detox taught me to reclaim my attention. Instead of constant fragmented engagement, I now use my phone without purpose, without focus, without clear intent. Every notification does not dictate my day. Every app doesn't steal my energy. Intentionality transforms tools from distractions into the instruments of productivity, connection, and the creativity. I've started scheduling deliberate phone free periods, morning hours to start the day without distractions, walks or meals to connect with nature and the people, evenings to unwind without the screens. These blocks are not punishments, they are a gift, moments where life becomes more present, more meaningful, and more fulfilling. Boundaries are not the restrictions, they are freedom in the disguise. I didn't quit my phone. I reclaimed my attention. I relearned presence. I choose mindfulness over the habit. And that small shift has created ripples in my daily life. Conversations felt deeper, focus felt sharper, moments felt richer. The device remains, but the power is now in my hands. A 24-hour detox is not about giving up your phone forever. It's about proving that you can live fully without constant stimulation. You can regain control over your time. You can create a life that prioritizes presence, intention, and the calmness. In the end, I can say the phone stayed, but my mindset changed. And that's far more valuable than any app or the notifications. Simple ways to try a digital detox. You don't need a full 24 hours to experience the benefits of unplugging. Even simple intentional breaks from your phone can spark clarity, calm, and the presence. Here is how. 1 to 2 hours of detox is start small, pick just 2 hours a day to go completely phone free. Notice your mind getting slowing down. Pay attention to your surroundings. Let boredom become curiosity instead of discomfort. Short detoxes train your brain to resist impulses, habits, and reclaim focus. Even 2 hours of uninterrupted presence can feel like a mini reset for your day. Instead of reaching for your phone the moment you wake up, spend the first 30 to 60 minutes breathing deeply, savoring your coffee or tea, journaling or reflecting. Starting your day without notifications sets a calm, intentional tone. You decide your morning mood, not your the apps, but the phone away. During meals, no scrolling, no notifications, no photos, just eating and connecting. Taste your food daily. Enjoy conversation with loved ones. Observe your surroundings. Meals are natural pauses in the day. Treat them as moments to nourish both body and the mind. Presence at the table, cultivate connection and the gratitude. Go for a walk without nothing but your own thoughts and the world around you. Listen to the wind, birds, or the footsteps. Notice the sights, the smells, and the textures. Let your mind wander without digital input. This simple phone-free walks sharpen the awareness, reduces the stress, and creates space for the creativity. Movement without distraction is meditation in the motion. Now, the hidden power in the simple detoxes, even the small practice remind you that life is more vivid without constant stimulation. Attention becomes a choice, not a reflex. Awareness grows in every quiet moment. Peace becomes accessible, not elusive. You don't need extreme measures to reclaim your life. Small intentional breaks add up, building clarity, focus, and presence every day. You don't have to unplug completely to gain extraordinary benefits. Even just 2 hours of mornings without a screen, device free meals, and a silent walks can create a space for calm focus and the joy. Your phone doesn't need to disappear, your attention does. And when you intentionally give it, lives feel richer, deeper, and more meaningful. Now, the big realization, disconnect to the reconnect. After stepping away from the phone, one truth becomes undeniable. Disconnection doesn't take life away, it gives it back. The quiet moments, once uncomfortable, revealed profound clarity and the insights. Here is what I discovered. Disconnection helps reconnection. Ironically, the less I connected digitally, the more I connected with what truly matters myself, loved ones, the world around me. Being constantly plugged in often fragments our attention. Stepping back allows relationship, thoughts, and experiences to become into full focus. Disconnection is not absence, it's presence in its purest form. Clarity lives in quiet moments. Without constant notifications or endless scrolling, my mind finally had the space to breathe. Thoughts slowed, priorities become visible, decisions felt simpler. Clarity is not found in noise, it emerges in the stillness. The moment we often rush through or fill with a distraction are actually where insight waits. If we just pause, long enough to notice. One of the most empowering lessons, attention is ours to give. We don't have to respond reflexively to every ping, swipe, or the alert. By choosing where and when we focus, we reclaim energy, intention, and the peace. Attention is not just a resource, it's a form of power, and how we spend it shapes our experiences and our life. Silence, waiting, and uninterrupted presence felt unfamiliar at first, even uncomfortable, but staying with stillness brought something incredible: awareness of habits, insights into emotions, connection to surroundings, appreciation for ordinary moments. Awareness is the gateway to growth. It transforms simple experiences into lessons, habits into choices, and distractions into the opportunities for the mindfulness. Disconnecting is not about what you lose, it's about what you gain: mental clarity, emotional resilience, intentional living, deeper relationships. The quieter life becomes, the louder your awareness, the gratitude, and the presence fell. Ultimate realization is simple yet profound. You don't have to escape life to find meaning. You don't need to step back. Just you need to see, yes, where to step back, notice, and be present. Disconnection is the key to reconnection. Stillness is the key to insights. Attention is the key to the freedom. And once you embrace that, every moment, digital or real, becomes richer, fuller, and extraordinary. Now, the reflection question will be around: could you go 24 hours without your phone? Pause for a moment and imagine no notification, no endless scrolling, no instant updates, just you, your thoughts, and the world around you. It sounds challenging, maybe even impossible at first, but that challenge holds the door to a remarkable discovery. What might you discover about yourself, your inner strength, without reflexively reaching for your phone? You will notice your mind resists boredom at first and then adapt. You will discover patience you didn't know you had. You will realize impulses can be observed, not acted upon. Now, strength is not just physical, it's mental and emotional, and it grows when distractions are removed. Your capacity for the presence, with no screens demanding attention, moments stretch and deepen, conversations feel fuller, nature becomes vivid, silence becomes restorative. Presence is not just peaceful, it's transformative. It is the gateway to deeper connection, clarity, and the gratitude. Your attention is precious. For 24 hours, you will realize how fragmented your attention usually is. Where do you really focus? What deserves your energy? What can wait? Awareness of attention gives you control over your life. Every choice becomes intentional, every moment becomes richer. Your relationship with the technology, you might discover it. The phone is not the problem, the habits are. Boundaries create the freedom. Stillness is not empty, it's powerful. You will see technology as a tool, not a tether, and regain the freedom to choose how you engage. Going 24 hours without your phone is not about deprivation, it's about connection to yourself, to others, and to the life. You may discover patience, presence, focus, gratitude, and awareness that everyday noise usually hides. And once you experience even a fraction of that, your perspective on technology and life itself shifts forever. Ask yourself, could I truly step away for a day? What would I notice about my habits, thoughts, and the priorities? What parts of life have I been missing while starting at a screen? The answers might surprise you, they might inspire you, they might just change your relationship with the life and your phone forever. Final thought: the quiet power of reset. Sometimes growth is not loud. It doesn't arrive with fanfare, notifications, or dramatic breakthroughs. Often it comes quietly in the still moments we usually overlook. When life slows down and the noise fades, your mind begins to see clearly. Thoughts organize themselves naturally. Priorities become obvious. Gratitude surfaces for what's been right in front of you. Silence is not emptiness, it's the space where understanding, awareness, and perspective take the root. You don't need extreme measures to reclaim balance. A morning without your phone, a walk without distractions, a conversation fully listened, These small choices create powerful shifts. They remind you that peace, focus, and presence are not earned by grand gestures. They are cultivated intentionally, one mindful moment at a time. The simplest actions often lead to the deepest transformation. Growth, clarity, and renewal are always available. You don't need to move mountains. You just need to pause, unplug, and notice. Even a few intentional hours away from distraction can restore mental energy, strengthen the focus, deepen the relationships, inspire the gratitude. The most profound changes often whisper rather than shout. Sometimes the reset is as simple as silence. Sometimes the clarity comes when you stop seeking it. Sometimes the greatest growth is quietly waiting for you in the spaces between notifications. Take a breath, step back, be present, and let the subtle power of stillness guide you. Now, if this journey through a digital detox inspired you, there is a simple way to keep the momentum going: the like and the subscribe. Why? Because growth is not just a solo energy, it's amplified when shared. Each like, each subscription is a small commitment to living more intentionally, more mindfully, and more present. And it would be great if you can give your feedback in the comment section. Thank you. Have a nice day.